declare variable, all these things are discussed. So today we'll start from that L values and R values. So what do you mean by this? Can you see my screen, everybody? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you mean by this L values and R values? Okay. So L values means, that it is L value whenever you are giving expression. So that expression that refer to a memory location that are called L value expression. So whenever you are using an expression and which is referring to a memory location, that is called L value. And remember the thing that L value may appear as either the left hand and the right hand side of an assignment. So what do you mean by this one? That means suppose you have written, suppose int a. Okay, so আমার স্ক্রিনটা ক্লিয়ার হয়ে গেছে। সো এখানে একটা এক্সাম্পল দেওয়া আছে। সাপোজ ইউ হ্যাভ গিভেন int g equal to 20. Okay, so we know that g is a variable of data type is integer and 20 is that value that is assigned to this variable g. So this expression, this is a valid statement. Okay, so here that value is assigned on that uh, right hand side, and the variable name is given on the left hand side. So this is a valid statement. But if you see R value means this refers to a data value that is stored at some address in the memory, and means it refers to that data value, and L value it refers to that memory location. Okay, so g variable, that is a valid int g equal to 20, that is a valid statement, and g is a variable, so it is a L value. And now next line is 10 equal to 20. We have not given anything, only given 10 equal to 20. So this is not a valid statement. Okay, because you can see 10 is a value, 20 is a value, nothing is declared here. So this is an invalid statement. So in case of R value, what happened? R value refers to this data value that is stored at some address in the memory. We know that value is stored in that, so in some memory location. So R value, it is an expression that cannot have a value assigned to it, which means R value always appear on the right hand side but not on the left hand side of an assignment. Means this is that assignment operator. Int a equal to, if we write int a equal to 100, so this is an assignment operator. So 100 value is assigned to variable a. Okay, so someone is requesting. So what happened? This value, this is a valid statement. This is a valid statement. A is variable, so it is an a. It is a L value. A is a L value, and 100 value. 100. This is a data value. So this 100, it is a R value. It R value only. You can see that. Wait a second. So R value only, you can see that R value on the right hand side of that assignment, but it cannot be on the left hand side of the assignment. That means this 100 value, it is an R value. You can see that 100 is in the right hand side. We cannot, here one example is given 10 equal to 20. So if you put in this way, suppose 25 equal to suppose 6, this is invalid statement. So we cannot put a data value in this way. So this will generate an error. So int equal to 100, this is valid, and this 100, it is R value, and a is a variable, a is a L value. Okay, so do not see that L value, R value, that means left hand side value L value, right hand side R value. That is not that concept. The concept is that L value, that is that expression which refers to memory location, and R value, that means it refers to the data value. Okay, so we know data value always appear on the right hand side, so R value will always appear on the right hand side of that assignment. But in case of L value, it can appear either on that left hand side or right hand side. So here you can see in A, it is in left hand side, this is L value, or you can take another example. Suppose you have taken in B, okay, and next you are assigning that value of B equal to A. Okay. Okay. So this thing is valid. What does it mean? A is 100, A value of A is 100. Next we have declared B variable, and the value of B will be A. That means value of B will be 100. So this is a valid statement. So see, A value here it is appearing in the left hand side, and here it is appearing on the right hand side. But 100, this is R value, it is only appearing on the right hand side only. Okay. So here that example given I have already told. So next go to that constant and literals. So constant means variable, means we know that the value of that variable may differ. It can hold any value. Variable value can be changed, but if you take constant, that means constant means its value is fixed. Whenever you are using a constant, that value will be fixed. So constant refers to that fixed values that program may not alter during its execution, and these fixed values are called the literals. So whatever the value you are assigning to a constant, that is called literal. Okay, that means suppose you have taken a constant and you have put at that value equal to 500. So the 500 value, it is called literals. Okay, so just like variable, constant can constant have many kinds of data types, just like integer constant, floating constant, character constant, string, literal, etc. So let's see some example. So whenever you are defining a constant, that value is fixed, and it is fixed during that whole execution of the program. So, and the literals means the value assigned to that constant, that is literals. So here you can see integer literals. So integer literal means it can be a decimal or octal or a hexadecimal constant. So we are already known about the fact that prefix with 0x or small x or 0 capital X, it is used for hexadecimal number, 0 is used for octal number, and for decimal number we do not use anything. So here you can see some examples. And integer literal can have suffix also, means a combination of U, L, that means U for unassigned number, L for long integer number, respectively, etc. And that suffix, you can write that suffix in uppercase or lowercase. Whatever you want, you can write. So see some examples of integer literals. 212. Nothing is defined here. It is a decimal number. Okay, so it is valid. Next 215U, that means it is unsigned integer number. This is also valid. This is 0xFEEL. That means it is a hexadecimal number. 078. See 078. This is 0, starting with 0, that means it is a octal number, but this is not octal number. Why? You can see the digit 8 is here. So in octal number system, the digits will be 0 to 7. Okay, that is why it is invalid. Next 032W, it is also invalid. Why it is invalid? Because you can see the double suffix is U, so you cannot use that suffix twice. So here are some various types of, there are also some examples just like that before we have seen, we have already known this fact. So let's see some floating point numbers. So floating point number, that means it has a decimal point, fractional part we know, or it can have a or also exponent part. So it has a floating point number, it has a integer part and a decimal part, or a fractional part, or it can be a exponent part. So let's see some example of this floating point literals. So here that you can see this is 3.14159. So this is legal. This is a floating point number. So this is E for exponential. You can use for signed exponent. You can use all small t or capital E. So 510 E, a capital E. This is invalid because why? Because it is an incomplete exponent. We have not given that exponent power. 210F, this is also invalid. Why? Because there is no decimal or exponent part. Next point E 55. This is also invalid. Why? Because it does not have an integer part. So some are legal floating point number and some are illegal floating point literals number. Okay. So next see the character constant. So now character literals, we know that it is always enclosed by a single quotes. So here you can see that the single quotation x is given. So it can be stored in a simple variable of character type. So let's see some examples. So if you are using character literal, so character literal can be a plain character, means just like A, B, C, D, or it can be an escape sequence. So we have already talked about escape sequence, that is /n, /t, etc. Those are escape sequence. Or you can already also send some universal character also. So there are some special characters in that C which represent special meaning, that are started with that backslash. So /n, it is used for new line. /t, it is used for tab. Okay, so these are some escape sequence used in C language. So we are already know this fact. Double slash, that means it is meaning slash character, slash comma, that means comma character, double quotes double character, or quotation note of quotation marks, that is quotation character. Then A is for used to alert or bail, B for backslash, etc. T horizontal tab, V vertical tab, etc. There are lots of things. N for new line, extra. So those are the characters. Okay. So let's see one example with this escape sequence character. Suppose you have a small program. So in a basic C program, we have some we have to start from that header file. When we will do program, we will understand that this is the has included std.h. This is a header file. Then we have to start from that main function. So this is the main function, and this is opening braces, this is closing braces, and here we are just printing a simple hello message, hello world. So printf hello. Then we have taken that escape sequence /t. That means it will it is used for a tab, horizontal tab. Next, that word we have taken, and we have taken double n. That means two new lines we have taken. Okay. So when you will execute this, you will get these things. This is a one tab space and the hello world message. The next is string literal. So string means, what do you mean by string? So string means it is a collection of characters. Okay, and we know that the strings always be enclosed with double quotes. So string literals or constants are enclosed in double quotes, and a string contains characters that are similar to character literals. So it is a collection of similar characters, a plain characters, or it can be a skip sequence or universal character. It can be. So suppose you have taken some string hello dear or hello slash dear. So in this way, in different way, you can take that string literal. So now defining that constant. So how to define that constant? So you can define that constant in uh, two ways. By using that hash define preprocessor. When we'll read that preprocessor, we'll go in details about this hash definition, hash define, and next is constant keyword. So now we will see how to use this constant keyword. Okay, so let's see how to use this constant keyword. So constant keyword. So whenever you are assigning something constant, so what you have to use? You have to use this word constant. Const. So const, that means it is used for constant. And then you have to give the type, what type of variable it is, and that variable name. And next you have to put that value, the value of that constant. So this is the basic syntax. Okay, you have to use this constant keyword. Next you have to give the type, and then you have to put that variable name, and then you have to put the value of that variable. So let's see an example of this constant. Here you can see there are two constants. First is length and width. Okay, and first one is length variable, it is constant. So length is a constant. So type is integer type, and value of that length is 10. So we have used this constant keyword. Next we have given data type, then we have taken that name, and then we have put at that value. Similar way with, we have taken that value 5, and similar way we have used a character constant, that is new line. It is that name. This is the char is the data type. Constant is used for defining it is a constant, and we have put it that value /n. Okay. So next see the storage class. So storage class means storage class. You can see in C language there are 4 types of storage class. So what do you mean by this storage class? So storage class, it defines the scope or that lifetime of that variable or function within a program, within that C program. That means whenever you are using that variable, so what is that value, what is that lifetime of that variable, or what is that scope of it. So those things are defined by the storage class. So we have different types of storage class. There are 4 different types of storage class in our C program. First is auto storage class, next is register storage class, static storage class, and external storage class. So auto storage class. Auto storage class means, so let's see what is auto storage class and how to define it. So auto storage class, it is the default storage class for all the local variables. So suppose we have taken that variable mount. This is the integer type mount. Okay, next we have taken auto keyword. So for auto storage class, the keyword auto is used. Okay, so auto int 1. So here you can see two variable, and both the storage class of that variable is auto. So here you can see we have not used this AutoCare, but by default it is auto storage class. So whenever anything is not defined, so by default it is a auto storage class. It comes under auto storage class. Okay. So here the two variables are within the same storage class, that is auto storage class, and this auto can also be used within function also. So when we will see that function, we can see that auto storage class, we can use it in function also. So next, the register storage class. So register storage class, it is used to define the local variables, and the location of this variable is that register. So the value is stored in that register in that computer. Okay, so in register storage class, if you are using register storage, you have to use this keyword register. Okay, so the register storage class, it is used to define the local variables that should be stored in a register instead of that random access memory. Okay, so that means that variable has a maximum size equal to that register size. So whenever you are putting that value in that register, so obviously that maximum size of that variable will be the register size. So it cannot have that unary and operator applied to it because it does not have a memory location. So for register storage class, very small value you can store. So this can be used for variables that require quick access such as counters. So when we will go for this Fayazullah, is he your classmate? So whenever you are using a variable that will take very small space, you and we need to access it quickly. So we require quick access to that variable. So in that cases, we can use this register storage class. Okay, just like counter. So we know that we counters we will go for that register storage class. So whenever you are defining register storage class, we have to put that keyword register. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So next share that the static and external storage class. So what is static storage class? So this storage class instructs the compiler to keep a local variable in existence during the lifetime of that program instead of creating and destroying at each time it comes into and goes out of scope. So this is this is different from those auto and register. Here what happened whenever you are defining that you are using static storage class, that means you are keeping that variable, you are using that local variable, and the lifetime of that variable will be that that the lifetime of that whole program, and until that program completes its execution. So you with example you can see the difference between this static and that external. So go to that example at first. Mm, okay. So here you can see that we have taken a variable, so static here. This is that header file, and we have used a function. We have taken void type of the function will not return anything. So we have taken void function void. Next we have defined this variable count. Okay, so this variable count and the value of it is 5. So we have put that storage class static. So static int count 5. So let's, whenever you are doing that program, so within main class you can see that this is a while loop. Oh, okay, you will not understand this because you have no idea about loop. Okay, so after completing loop, I will discuss this storage class, 4 types of storage class again. Okay, else you will not get this point.
Yes, ma'am.
So next go to that operators. So operator means operator tells you what type of operation will be performed. Okay, so you can see there are lots of different types of operator in C language. So first is arithmetic operator, next relational operator, logical operator, bitwise operator, assignment operator, and MISC operator. So what is that first one? That of arithmetic operator. So by seeing that operator, you have that idea what kind of operation it will perform. Okay. So in generally, arithmetic operator that means we are using that mathematical operations. So we have used that mathematical operator. Those are arithmetic operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus operator, double plus plus increment operator, decrement operator, minus minus. So these comes under that arithmetic operator. So let's see what are these types of operators. So here you can see we have taken that operator and you have given description, and also example is given. So first consider we have taken two variable a and b, and first truffle the value of a is 10 and b equal to 20. So plus operator, this is the plus operator, this is used for addition. So plus means it will add two operands. Okay, so a plus b, that means value of a and b will be added. So a plus b, we will get 10 plus 20 equal to 30. Next subtraction, that means one operand will be means subtraction, the second operand will be subtracted from the first one. So a minus b means the value of b will be subtracted from a. So a is 10, b is 20, that means we will get that result minus 10. Next multiplication, it will multiply both the operands. 10 star 2, that means you will 10 star 20, so you will get result 200. Next division operator. The division operator means it will give you the divide. If you are dividing one operand with another, it will give that dividend value. So b divided by a, that means b equal to 20, a equal to 10. So we'll get that value 2, 20 by 10, 2. Next is modulus operator. Modulus operator will give you the remainder of in that division. So modulus operator, so here you can see b modulus a. That means b equal to 20, a equal to 10. So what you will get? The remainder will be 0. So if you uh, if you suppose here suppose you have taken 9. So what will get that value if a by b, a modulus b, a modulus b. So what the value will get if you use this modulus operator, modulus b? Hmm? What value will get? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Here I have declared a equal to 100, b equal to 9. And we are using this modulus operator, a modulus b. So what will be the output? What you will get of this value, a modulus b?
Ma'am, one.
Ma'am, one.
Yes, it will, you will get 1 because it will, a modulus operator, that means it will give that remainder value. Okay. And if you do if you use the division operator, A divided B divided by B. So not 99. 99 who told?
Ma'am, 100.
100. One is telling 100, another 99, another
11.11.
11.11. Any other? Nothing is correct. We will get how much? 9. It is divided by 9. That means 99. 11. We will get 11. The answer is 11. If you take, means if you just it is just like int c equal to A divided B. If you take in this way, so you will get 11. But if you take it float, then this time you will get 11 point value. Okay. So next is increment operator and decrement operator. Increment operator means double plus. So double plus, that means this is a new operator. You do not have any idea about this double plus. So this double plus, this is increment operator, okay? And this double minus, this is decrement operator. So double plus, that means that value is incremented by 1. That means you have taken suppose A equal to 100. If you put double plus A, that means you will get, what you will get it? The value of A is equal to incremented by 1. So double plus A means it is A plus A equal to A plus 1. Okay. And here double minus minus A, if you are using double minus suppose B you have taken, so decrement operator means the value is decremented by 1, so B equal to B minus 1. Okay, so value of A, here you will get 100 plus 1, 101. So here the value will be double plus A, that will be 101, and here B that is decremented by 1, so B will be 9 minus 1, that is 8. Okay, have you got this point? Increment operator, decrement operator. Okay, so here another example we have taken, A equal to variable A equal to 10, we are already know, we have taken. So A plus plus, that means value is incremented by 1, so 10 plus 1 equal to 11. So now next value decremented operator. So decremented operator, next we have taken A minus minus. So that will be, value will be 9 because A equal to 10. So 10 minus 1, that means 9. So these are that assignment operator. So here you can see a small program where you can use that all that operators. So we have taken our header file. We have taken that header file, and within main function we are assigning. We are taking that variable A equal to 21, B equal to 10. Okay. This is a small program, and we have taken another variable C. In C, we will put that result, okay, of different types of operation. So let's see. So first of all, we are doing addition. C is equal to A plus B. So printf value of C. So here we will get equal to how much? 21 plus 10. That means 31. Next, we have taken here multiplication operator A minus B, and we are printing that value. Next, A minus B subtraction operator. Next, we have taken multiplication. We are multiplying A with B. Next, we have dividing A divided by B. Next, we have used modulus operator, modulus B. Next, we have taken increment operator, C is equal to A plus plus. Then decrement operator, A equal to C equal to A minus minus. So the value will be in this way. So First one addition result, then subtraction result, then multiplication result, then division, then modulus, then increment, then decrement. Okay. The next is the relational operator. Relational operator, that double equal to, operator, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to. So these are the relational operator. Okay. So here you can see the description and that example. So here we have taken variable A and B. Just 1 minute, আমি একটু জল খেয়ে আসছি. 2 minutes. Okay, wait.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So we are discussing that relational operator. Okay. So here we have taken variable A and variable B. So let's see, we are applying relational operator on these operands. So A, B are operands. Okay. So here A is value of A is 10 and B equal to 20. So double equal sign. That means this is a equal operator. So what do you mean by this equal operator? So whenever you are putting that equal operator between the two operands, it will check the both the values are same or not. Okay, if the values are same, then that the condition becomes true, and if it is not same, it will become false. Okay, so A equal to B. So here A is 10, B equal to 20. So this is not same. So this is not true. Okay, this is not true. Next is not equal to. Not equal to means it checks if the values of the two operands are equal or not. Means if you wish A not equal to B, that means A value is not equal to B. Is it true or false? That means 10 not equal to 20. This is correct. Are you getting this point? Not equal to 10 is not equal to a 20. So it will give you true value. Okay. This is equal. This is checking whether the two operands are equal or not. And this is checking whether the two operands are not equal. Okay. So checks this not equal sign. It checks if the values of the two operands are equal or not. And here A not equal to B, it will give you true value because A is 10 and B is 20. So 10 is not equal to 20. So it is true. Next is greater than. Greater than means this operator will check whether the left operand value is greater than that value of the right hand operand. Okay, and if it is true, then it will become this becomes true. So A greater than B. So value A is 10, 10 greater than 20. 10 greater than 20, no. So this is not true. Next is less than. So it will check on that left hand value is less than that of that right side value. So A less than B. So A is 10, B is 20. So 10 less than 20, true. So it is true. Next is greater than equal or less than equal. So greater than equal means it checks whether that value of the left hand side, left operand value is greater or equal. So it is checking greater or equal to that right side value, right hand side operand value. So if it is true, if the condition satisfies, so it will show you the true value. So A greater than equal to B. Here A equal to 10, 10 greater than equal to 20. No, so this is not true. Next is less than equal to. So here you can see that this checks the left hand value, the value of that left hand operand is less than or equal to that value of the right hand operator. So if it is true, if yes, if the condition satisfies, so this becoming true. A less than B equal A less than B is true. So A is equal to 10. So 10 less than equal to B. B means 20. So 10 less than equal to 20. So 10 is less than 20. It is true. So this is becoming true. So these are the relational operator. So we are just taking those examples. We are writing it in a C program. So here it is a C program. We have taken that header file next to the main function. We are assigning that variable. So int A, we have taken variable A and B. So value of A is equal to 21 and value of B equal to 10. So the result will be stored in C variable, in C. So now let's check if condition. We are checking if A equal to B. Equal operator we have used. So if it is condition satisfied, it will print A is equal to B. Else it will print A is not equal to B. Similarly, less than B. If true, then less than B, else is not less than. So in this way, we have put all that relational operator. Okay. So if you run, you will get the, just take another example of relational operator, and it will be clear to you. Suppose first you have taken this thing. You have taken variable A, you have taken variable B. So now A equal to, you have given 100, B equal to 9. So you are using equal operator. A equal B. If you are putting this, so it will give you what value, true or false. If A equal to B, it is not true. It is not true. It is not true. So okay, it is not true. Next, if you put A not equal to operator, not equal to B, so this becomes, it is true because 100 not equal to 9. Okay, so this is true. And if you are putting greater than A, greater than sign, A greater than B, so it is A greater than B, 100 greater than 9. So what value you will get? It is true. Next, if you are putting less than value, then if you are using less than value, A less than B, so it is not true. It is not true because uh, you know that 100 is not less than 9. Okay. Next, if you are putting and greater than. Okay. So less than and greater than. So if you are using A greater than equal to B, so A greater than equal to B, so it is what? A greater than equal to B, 100 greater than equal to 9. Yes?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Why? 100 is
True,
greater
true,
than
ma'am.
9. It is true.
True, true,
Yes,
true.
it's true. And if you are putting A less than B, A less than equal to B, it is not true. Why? Because 100 is not less than 9. Not true. Okay. So these are the relational operator in C language. Okay. So in our today's class, we have covered a lot of things. We have seen the L values, R values, and the different kind of storage class. And I will continue this storage class after completing that loops, all those things, else that programming you will not understand. Next, we have discussed the different types of operators which are used in our C language. So we have details, we have read the arithmetic and relational operator. So next class, we will start from that logical operator. Okay.
ম্যাম
So
মডেলিং অপারেটর বলে দেন।
modulus operator comes under the arithmetic operator. Addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, modulus, increment, decrement, those are coming under arithmetic operator. Okay. And
ম্যাম
next then
মানটা কি করে বেরোচ্ছে ওটা বলে দিন ম্যাম।
কি বুঝলাম না, কি বলছো বলো?
ম্যাম মডুলাস অপারেটরের মানটা যেখানে বার হচ্ছে ওই মানটা ওই বলে দিন আবার।
আচ্ছা, modulus. Okay. Means I have to give example. Okay. I'm giving another example. Suppose we have taken, suppose integer, suppose we have taken s, let's suppose 68. Okay. And we have taken another variable int t equal to, we have taken value 4. Okay. Suppose we have taken two variable s equal to 68 and t equal to 4. Okay. So if you are storing that value, result value in r equal to, and int r equal to, you are using that modulus operator. So s modulus for t. Okay, so what you will get? Okay, so here you can see modulo operator means after division what will be that remainder, so that will be that result. So s equal to 68, t equal to 4, that means I'm going to just divide kori, then what you will get? If we divide 68 by 4, so how much you will get?
17
So
ম্যাম।
remainder will be
16.
what? Remainder value will be what? Huh? How much?
I'm 17.0.
ম্যাম
17.
ম্যাম
Huh?
17 ম্যাম।
17 is the dividend value, means আমরা 68 কে ভাগ করলে যে ভাগফলটা যা পাচ্ছি। রিমাইন্ডার কি? রিমাইন্ডার হচ্ছে ভাগ, if you after division what will be the remainder?
জিরো ম্যাম।
That is
I'm 0, 0, 0. I'm 0.
Zero.
It will be 0. Okay,
Zero, zero.
because you have taken here, if you have take 31, So how much will be you will get here? R equal to you will get R will be how much? For 428. That means
3.
3. Okay, remainder
ma'am.
value will get. Modulus operator means you will get the remainder value. Okay, that
Okay,
will
ma'am.
be that. Good job. So others understood these things. If you
Yes, ma'am.
take
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
two, if you
ma'am.
take it 2, so what will you will get? R will be
1.
R
1,
will
1.
be 30. That means 1. Okay.
1. Okay.
So in this way it will continue. So let's go to the attendance. Just a minute. First year electrical. EC